There's so much that children have to learn in today's high-tech world, and it becomes too easy for them to miss out on the practical skills of life. Studies have shown that 50% of 3 to 5-year-old children can actually navigate a phone, and only very few of them can make their beds. Life practical skills are skills that we really need to teach our children, and there is no better time to start than the present. Join me as we look at the skills that we can actually teach our children at home. Welcome back. This is Expression with Julie. I talked about practical life skills that we can teach our children as they grow. There are certain skills that somehow we parents are beginning to overlook. Skills like simply making their beds when they wake up in the morning. Experience has shown that students hardly even make their beds today when they get up from bed. Can we teach them as parents to do that basic skill, and they don't always have to wait for the housemaid to do that for them? Another skill like laundry, of course, they have to get to a particular age. Maybe by the time they get to 5 or 6 years, you can begin to teach them how to do their laundry. Begin with the lighter clothes. But it's very important that we teach our children to be able to wash their clothes by themselves. Yes, we may be able to afford the house help doing all the house chores, but it's important we allow our children to learn these skills, because believe me, it will be very useful for them later in life. Skills such as even planting a seedling, it's important. Now, it teaches our children how to take care of things. You ask them to plant a seedling and they keep watering it and watch as this plant grow. Believe me, it's actually very exciting for them, and they learn a lot too, and they begin to value life as they grow. Skills such as doing the dishes. Some parents feel that it's a very menial job and they would rather have the housemaid. After all, why are we paying the house help? And the children just eat and dump their dirty dishes in the kitchen for the housemaids to do that. We're not helping these children by doing that. We as parents need to insist that our children learn to do their dishes from a very early age. Once you are done eating, you go to the kitchen and wash your dishes. Now, this is very important life skills that many of us parents fail to instill in our children today. Skills such as being able to mend clothes, simple sewing. When we were growing up as children, our parents taught us how to use the needle and thread. Do we do that today to our children? Or are we pampering them and not teaching them basic skills? I've had situations where children lose the skirt buttons or the shirt buttons, and then you tell them, why are you wearing this? What happened? Can't you sew the button on? Oh, our house help hasn't done that. I mean, do you have to wait for your help to do that? Why don't you use the needle and thread yourself? Now, that simply means, parents, we are not doing what we're meant to do as parents. We need to teach our children to be able to use the needles. Of course, we're not going to give it to them at a very tender age, but as they grow older, by the time they get to the age of 8, 9, they should be able to handle a needle and a thread. They should be able to sew up their shirt buttons on their own without necessarily waiting for the housemaid to do that. Something else we can learn to teach our children is how to save. Yes, times are hard, and sometimes it's not always rosy. So we need to learn to teach our children to save. It's very important, because we don't always have to teach them lavish lives. When the money is not there, the children, we know that it's not there, and they can learn to manage. So if we allow our children just spend money anyhow, when you give them pocket money and they use it up before it's even time, okay, maybe you tell them, well, you have this pocket money, it's for 1 month, for instance, and you should even encourage the child, they don't have to spend all that pocket money. They should learn to save for rainy days, because next month I may not be able to give you that money. So let's teach our children to save, because this skill will actually help them sometime later in life. There are so many other skills we can teach our children. skills such as learning how to clean their shoes. Apart from even cleaning their shoes, they can learn to clean mommy's shoes. They can also clean and polish daddy's shoes. They can learn to wash the car. Yes, you don't always have to take the car to the car wash. Let your children learn how to wash cars. Some of the things we can learn to teach our children, or we as parents, sometimes we actually overlook. We should learn to teach our children safety measures at home. For instance, how to use the fire extinguisher. When there's a fire in the house, what should we do? Teach your child so that when you're not at home and there's an emergency, they can actually handle this emergency. There are so many other skills we can actually teach our children at home. Digital skills, for instance. Yes, in this high-tech world, we can't teach our children digital skills, how to use the website wisely, how not to divulge personal information to predators out there on the internet. This and many more skills we can teach our children. But the thing is, most often we tend to overlook these things. We're carried away with our work, and then there's so much the children have to learn, and we don't want to burden them with this. But believe me, if we fail to teach them these basic life skills, they're going to have problems later in life. There's so many skills, basic skills we can actually teach our children today that will actually help them later in life. And sometimes we parents, we take it for granted. There is need for us to sit back and think of all the basic skills that you think your children would need in life and take it more seriously and teach them as early as possible so that they don't find life difficult much later. If you found this video educative, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the like button and the bell button for notifications. If you have comments or questions you would like to ask, please go to the comment section. Thank you.